my dauntless commander. That's a man that can motivate soldiers.
Yeah, but they're trying to take those away from you too.
Yeah, like he should have made general officer. I won't get into whatever because we're on here, but he should have been a general officer. He may have made it later, but he didn't make it when he should have. For reasons that I won't say on TV, but it has probably to do with me. He looked just like me and you, family, good guy. I mean, he was awesome. He could call me up right now, be like, Steve. I would say, dauntless, sir, and he would be like, no fear. Ugh. And I would have no fear. Anyway, that's my hope is that there are still men and women serving like that know right and wrong, that know American history, that study the Constitution, because we hand out constitutions every Constitution Day, and they're supposed to give a 1 hour long class. Like I was talking to you about all the different things we do, that's like probably the only good one is teaching young soldiers the Constitution, which hopefully they still do. I don't know.
I doubt it.
But up until whenever I retired, 5 years ago, they did.
I mean, you swear an oath to the Constitution.
Yeah, not to the flag. You obey the orders of the president, but only if they're legal.
And if they violate.
But your oath is to the Constitution. It's not to the president. It's not to a political party. It's not to the flag. It's to the Constitution, a document that captured the spirit of this country.
Yeah. So every soldier does that.
1787.
Police officer does that. Politician does that. I swear an oath to the Constitution. And they break it every single day.
They do. Like you can see video of them, like infringing on people's rights. Mm-hmm. Cops do it.
Yep.
Politicians do it. Judges do it.
No, we're going to get into judges. We're going to get into judges soon. I told Steve.
Is that today or next issue?
Nah.
We're going to do some research on some judges?
We're going to do some research because we're going to get into judges because this one is kind of what brought it out. And you ask any police officer, what's the biggest issue out there? And because we arrest them, we do our job, we build the case, and then judges pat them on the back and let them go. And it's not just here.
Well, there's no more tough love.
There's nothing. So it's time that judges are held accountable. And I told you, I was like, well, we better make sure.
I mean, it starts at the bottom and the top for that. I don't know where you start because
you got to start at the bottom.
Because you have parents that won't even hold their kids to account. They think it's funny if they're throwing stuff, cussing, disrespectful towards. Be respectful of people. We make jokes, because part of this is to entertain or whatever.
Right.
But anybody that comes up and talks to me, even if they're in clown makeup, I will talk to them like they have with dignity and respect. I may not agree with anything that they say, and it will take everything in my body not to be repulsed, not because of sexuality or anything. I'm talking like from actual clown makeup all the way down to heavy makeup, just
I don't know,
a drag queen is wearing, right? Like,
I could see you taking the pink hair, purple hair, whatever hair, but
I will have a conversation, but
with the clown,
yeah, I might lose with the clown, the actual clown.
I don't think you can handle the clown,
especially with the music, the circus music, whatever that
red balloon. I'm like, yeah, Steve, go have a conversation with that person.
No,
let me know how it goes.
I can't have I don't even I told you this before. Like the Kansas City Royals mascot was trying to dance and get me involved, and I'm like, I am going to punch you, man. You need to get away from me. I don't trust you. I don't know what's going on behind that mask. I don't know who you are. Like my own personal issues. But it's Friday, Tom. This will be a good weekend. We got rain.
It's Friday.
Bringing in the chloride or whatever. Hopefully not.
My daughter's birthday party's tomorrow, and her third birthday is on Sunday. Makes me very sad because it's going so fast. Her
vocabulary. She's got a very good vocabulary for. Now she's going to be 3, but even at 2 years old, I was impressed with.
She knows her ABCs. She counts. She kept missing number 2 for some reason, but she corrected that. She's smart. She knew that was a moose. Like, oh, that's a moose. She just.
Nikki's our nephew, but Nikki's nephew, but our nephew, her sister's son. She took a video and he had I don't know, one of those like Alexa or Google or whatever, and he was just sitting there asking all these math questions, like 98 plus 75, and it would tell him the answer, and he'd be like, cool, thanks. But he's like talking to the machine, he's like 5 or 6. And so, I don't know, it's just a cute video of him just being interested in math and asking, and he's probably memorizing that in the subconscious. It'll make math probably easier for him, just sitting there. That's what he does for fun. He's not asking weird, stupid questions, right? He's sitting there studying math. And like, 2 numbers plus 2 numbers, that's advanced for a 6-year-old. I mean, granted, he's not doing it, but it's just that he was interested in it. I just thought that was funny.
No, like, if anyone wants to know, like, the reason that I personally do this show is because I look at my young daughter every day, and I look at the fact, like, my wife's pregnant, and we're having another girl, and I look at that, and I look at the future of what will this be, when they get my age, when they get in high school and whatever, and, like, that's what's important to me. It's not about me. It's not about any of that. It's not
You don't need any clout?
No, I don't.
You're not clout chasing?
No, I don't need a pat on the back. I don't need anything.
Well, that's why I started getting involved, was for Zeta, my daughter, because I don't want her dealing with people's stupidity because they didn't read
But I look at my
and research on their own outside of what the government tells you. Go find something.
But I look
Be your
at
own person.
I look at my 2-year-old daughter, which this is the last show I could say 2-year-old because she'll be 3, and I think about the future with her as like, oh, what are like some drag queen, transsexual, whatever, gonna read to her in school, and that's never gonna happen ever because I'm responsible. Like, I won't let it happen. It won't happen. I think about the things for their future, and like everyone out there needs to be thinking about that. It's what we always did, right? You got to plan for the future for your kids and everything. And what the hell are we doing? What kind of environment do we want your kids to grow up in? And I don't know. Like, it's scary. It's scary about like where we are right now. And like our generation isn't even in power yet. It's still 80-year-old people that should have been long gone. Your generation should be
Generation X, when it takes over, I would suspect Generation X will be like, all right, rude awakening, everybody.
I would hope.
Welcome to our childhood.
Right.
You're on your own until dusk.
Yeah, right.
Don't die.
But what future are you going to have for your kids if you just keep letting it go and not getting involved and saying, enough's enough? You're not going to put these kids in my school. You're not, or these people in my school. There's a story we'll have next week we'll talk about this next week with someone who's going to come on the show. And, in Concord, there's I don't even know, this art teacher in Chris McCullough School, so it's around young children, that, has videos on Twitter or whatever talking about getting penises, and he dresses in women's clothes, like this whole thing. Like, what world do we live in that all of a sudden is like, oh, it's fine.
Like, even as an adult, right? As a guy that's not tied down to a political party, like, I don't care if that guy goes home and dresses up like a woman.
Give a shit what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
not around my kids.
Yeah, like that. Now you're crossing a barrier because I have no desire to talk about my sexuality ever with kids. No. Like, there's like that would never even cross my mind as like a topic that I would broach.
Right. But
I'm supposed to accept that because you want to, then you have the right to talk to a young child about things.
No, you don't. You can do whatever the hell you want in your own house as long as you don't hurt somebody else. I don't care. Like, we talk about the transsexual thing on here all the time, and I don't buy into that crap. I don't buy into the whole pronoun stuff. It's male, it's female. That is all it is. That is all it'll be. Some doctor can cut off your dick and turn it inside out and say you have a vagina, but you still have X chromosomes. You're still a male. End of story. There is nothing in between. And now that doesn't mean, oh, well, Tim hates those people, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what you do. Don't do it around me. Don't get near my kids. What you do in your own home, I don't care. I have tattoos. Some people don't like tattoos. That's their business. That's their right. But I like tattoos. I have tattoos.
Right. You're not out there trying to convince a
No,
6-year-old they
I'm
need
not.
tattoos.
Or that say you need to mutilate your body because you're 8 years old and you think that I really think I should be a boy because I like to play with trucks. And no,
Well, yeah, if that's what you want, wait till you're 18 and then
yes. And once you're 18, if that's what you want to do, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's okay. But that's your right as a human being. Go ahead, go crazy, do whatever you're gonna do. Don't expect me to fix it later on for you. Don't expect me to
My tax dollars.
Well, they need therapy and we need to pay for it. Well, no, that's not my problem. It's your problem. But what are we doing? What are we doing?
yeah, because you'll get canceled by somebody today. They'll never want to talk to you again because of just what you said. And
Don't give a
all what I heard was reasonable request:
Yeah.
leave children alone.
Yeah.
Then once you're old enough to make decisions for yourself, have at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're not talking about your sexuality with any child. Like we talked about, you would go to jail.
Right.
Up until 2 years ago, you'd have went to jail.
Yeah. You still
Rightfully
would go
so.
to jail.
Well, you would because you're straight.
Yeah. Right.
You're not a disadvantaged group.
Yeah.
You have no victim card.
Yeah.
You got to work on your brand. That's from South Park last night. I'm a big South Park fan, but they talk about brand, and it was funny. Every time they were talking about developing your own personal brand, like it's a contractor or whatever, he's hired, and it's like 2 or 3 things, and then the last one's always victim. So, like, whatever your brand is, you got to be a victim. And unfortunately, you and I don't qualify for that. I should, though. I got a paralyzed face, so maybe that makes me more of a victim than you.
That's true. You should use that.
Yeah.
I would. Need some advantage. You're disadvantaged in every other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's interesting topics we talked about today, Timothy.
It is. I guess at the end of the day, like, I guess you just have to ask yourself, what kind of world do you want to live in? And
do you want to work together with people, or do you want to stay divided over stupid silliness?
right. And this is more about right and wrong. This isn't about, left and right, black and white, male,
Right.
female. This is about none of that. This isn't about, well, I believe in God, you don't believe in God. It's not about any of that.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe in any of that stuff and still know that, you wouldn't take your young child to some
Strip
sex club. Exactly. you wouldn't do it. And you wouldn't do it because you know it's not right. So why is it right that suddenly it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and this? No, you're not. Over my dead body, we'll do it with my kids. And that's a factual statement.
Yeah, you got to defend, like, everything I've ever done was for, Zeta and Nikki.
Yeah.
My family. And, mom, dad, brother, whatever. But, like, my family is first, right? Like, protecting my daughter is paramount to everything else in my life.
It's time for people in this country to take a stand.
And other people's kids. Like, I have a sense of duty because of whatever, my conditioning and my programming, going through basic training, and, like, I feel like I have a duty to try to help people. Mm-hmm. And I see some serious craziness going on that people won't speak up about, or maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
There should be riots every day. Millions of people.
Well, protest, but not riots.
Well, yeah,
Like,
sorry, protest. Let me change that. Protest every day, demanding the list of Epstein's clients and demanding justice for what he's done to all those young girls and I believe some boys too. There's no justice for it. What if it was your kid? What if it was your kid?
I
Would
would feel, I would be asking the same thing you are. I was like, does anybody care? Like,
if
do
it
I
was
have anyone on my
kid,
side? You have us on your side if you are a victim and you need help. Reach out.
Yeah,
Of Epstein.
because if my child was a victim of Epstein,
Or anyone, really.
he wouldn't have. Yeah, he wouldn't have. Not hung himself in jail because he never would have made it to jail. He would never would have made it to court.
Oh, he's pretty hard to get to out there on that island.
Yeah, could be done. But here we are. How many years later now? I mean, Ghislaine's been in jail for like a year now, and 65 years.
I think we're getting close to it. That, or they're just ramping it up. Like that just seems like
they're probably trying to destroy as much as they can, because if
they're probably trying to figure out who are the 25 people that are the least productive of our crew.
Correct.
And let's throw them out there.
yes,
It's your turn to take one for the
Right.
team.
because probably the thousands on the list that would take down most of the country's elite will never get.
Well, you know, it's interesting because they always talk about his flight log to his island, but he had properties like New Mexico, Florida.
Ghislaine was in freaking Bradford, New
was like
Hampshire.
20 miles from us. Like,
And then people say, like neighbors say, that black SUVs come out of there all the time. And who drives black SUVs?
usually government or
Yeah.
security of some, either one.
And it was paid cash, like 1.2 million or something, or whatever it was, a lot cash.
There's a lot of weirdness around Ghislaine. She's got like a submarine license. Like, what are they doing? They got submarines on that rich side of things. Those 300